kings and queens. Welcome to Newbeing Queen Talk Show. I have a beautiful host that is here to help us on today. Are y'all ready to talk about love? Are y'all ready to talk about single and dating? How about this? How about being married and wanting to learn how to date or start back dating again? Some of us need to be refreshed today, okay? So we have the beautiful Ashley J, Coach Ashley J, on today, who's going to be talking to us about single and dating. But not only single and dating, I'll take that a little bit further. Y'all can see the little background, so y'all see, everything looks like love in the air, love in the bedroom, and things like that. But what about when you're married also and you're dating and you want to bring that back to your relationship and bring the fire or rekindle the fire, bring some of that passion back? Come on. So for those of you who are single and dating, she has some insight for you. And she also has some insight for how married couples can live the life like married couples, but dating as well. So y'all know how I always do it. Y'all go ahead and share this show on today. Y'all go ahead and share it on your Facebook page. Share it so that your friends and your coworkers and people, that you talk to can look at this show on today. This is going to be a good show. Y'all know I like for y'all to comment. So we need y'all to come in to comment, ask questions. She is available for questions. Okay, so we're gonna have these Q&As. I love y'all comments. Y'all know I will show you comments and things like that because I love for us to be interactive. So go ahead and start sharing it. Share. Post on your Facebook page, send it in Messenger. Y'all know we're gonna be on YouTube as well. So we're not just gonna be here, but we are also live on Facebook, on YouTube also. Okay, so while we are waiting for Queen Coach Ashley J to come, we know that she is a devoted wife. She's a mother, y'all. She is a therapist, relationship and dating coach. We are looking forward to her coming in on the live with us on today. Good morning, Leslie. We want you all to go ahead and share this because we want as many people as we can. Y'all know, literally, I'm going to say next month because we're almost in the month of January. So how ironic it is, we're talking about love, and love is next month. Okay, we're talking about the month of love, which is in the month of February. So we're going ahead and get this thing kick-started on today. Okay, she also assists couples to stay in love. How beautiful is that? So if you are married and you love your husband, she is that coach that will help you and assist and aid you to stay in love. Come on, if you say, I don't feel out of love, come on. She got some things for us to teach us and tell us today how we can get back in love with the woman, with the man that we were once with. So listen, this is not just for women. Y'all need to go ahead and share this with everybody. This men, women, come on. Singles, married couples, nobody is exempt today. So y'all got to share this. So I'm going to give y'all some time today before this queen come forth, Coach Ashley come forth and talk to us about love. Y'all got to go ahead and share. Get as many people to come in. Tell them it's not hard. Hey, Queen Vicky, Frida, Queen, thank y'all for coming in. Y'all go ahead and share. Y'all let them know that nobody's exempt today. We want everybody to get in on this thing because we want everybody to comment and let them know that we are here for you. I'm trying to give y'all just a little more time before this woman of God come forth and talk to us about love. Y'all got to share this. Y'all go ahead and send it in Messenger and all those other platforms. Good morning, Queen Tori. Yes, ma'am. You talking about you need it, Queen? I need it too. We all need it. Listen, we all looking for love in the air. Everybody wants to be in love. Everybody want to be with the one that they love also. So this is why we have this going on today. So also, she assists in love. Ashley knows just how difficult it can be in the dating world and navigating relationship. She desires to see marriages restored, healthy, according to the word of God. So I'm telling you all, if you're single, if you're married, this is the coach, come on, that you want to coach you. So we're going to present. I'm so excited. We're going to bring forth the queen, Coach Ashley J. Y'all hold on one second. She is coming to talk to us. Woo! There she is. Hey.
Hey, 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 queen. Oh my goodness. You got me excited.
I'm excited, honey. I am excited about love on today. I feel the love all in the air, all in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
We got some queens, they already ready. So before you even came on, they were already commenting. They ready for you to talk about love. So I'm going to let you tell us more about yourself. How did you get into this part of the ministry, talking about dating, and love and relationships?
So this has been kind of a lifetime thing.
Hmm.
Um, I was running from it for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
I was always the go-to person with my friends were in relationships, asking me a lot of questions, even in times when I didn't, I wasn't in a relationship. They would come to me and ask
Uh-huh.
me for my advice and stuff like that. So it started back then, but officially I got started with my business. I want to say in 2019. I
Mhm.
started my business and it started out as a blog and kind of
Okay.
shifted into coaching.
Wow.
And this was something, it was God mandated. That's the best way I can put it. He told me, look, I'm setting you up to help people with relationships. I have been through the fire when it
Come
comes to
on.
relationships.
Okay.
So he let me know all of my experiences would be for this reason right here, which is to help single women. I even would love to help men. It's always the women that come to me, but I would love to help the fellas too.
Come
Um,
on.
but I've been through the fire, even in my marriage. My husband and I have been married for 6 years. We've been
Yeah.
together for almost 11 years,
Yeah.
and we have been through the ups and downs in our marriage. I am very transparent when I let people know, hey, we were at the verge of divorce a few
Come
times.
on. Yes.
So I know what it's like, the work that you have to put in to get back into love with one another, the work
Ooh,
that you have to put in to stay in love with one another. So that's how all of this kind of happened.
and you know, experiences qualifies you, honey.
Yes.
Experiences make you professional. Because like after you have been through the fire and you say, this I learned, I found out that this actually works.
Hmm.
And give us some of the things that help you out, as you're moving forward and learning more about the love and dating. Tell us some of the tips that you have and what you use that work for you.
So when I was dating, when I started dating again, and at the time where I met my husband, right before that, I had a 1 year break.
Hmm.
And I wasn't dating anybody. I was taking that time to heal because I had just gotten out of a difficult relationship. And I was taking that time to heal. So really, honestly and truly, I was relying solely on God to direct me on this journey when I
Right.
was ready to start dating again. And one of the things that he taught me to do was make a list.
Come on.
And I said, okay, make a list. What am I making a list of? And he said, make a list of every single thing, every quality, every characteristic that you want in your future husband. And
Oh,
I said,
good one.
okay.
Okay.
So I did. I wrote everything down, every detail. I even wrote down what it would look like, all of that, right?
Oh,
And
uh-huh.
he told me, okay, after you do that, I want you to pray about it. I said, okay.
Yes.
So I prayed about it. I prayed over my list for quite some time. And then it just so happens at that time, Steve Harvey had a dating website.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, my first of all, my mother, she was on me about joining this website. And I was like, I don't know about that. Well,
Mhm.
after I made my list, the Lord told me get on the website. So I
Uh-huh.
checked the website out. There was a 30-day free trial. So I was like, all right, Lord, I ain't paying for love. So If
Yes.
you want me to do this and get on this site, you got 30 days
Come on.
to go ahead and let me meet my husband. In 2 weeks,
Mm.
I met my husband on the
Oh,
website.
wow. Oh, wow.
I met him in 2 weeks. At first, it didn't seem like I was going to meet him, but
Right,
he came unexpectedly.
right, right.
And one thing I had to do when it came to seeing him, he reached out to me. I looked at his picture and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna talk to him because he looks like what I just left.
Ooh,
And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. The Lord said, respond back to him. I said, okay. So I responded back to him and I looked at his picture again and I was like, well, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not familiar.
right.
And once I did that, we started to talk. So I said all of that to say, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
If the man that is coming to you is he looks familiar, he looks like what you're trying to leave, he may
Yeah.
not be that,
He
or
may
he
not.
may not be that at the time that you guys meet. My
Right,
husband was the guy that I was trying to stay away from, but when it was our time to meet, that was not who he was anymore.
right,
And he was completely different. He was not, I didn't want anybody that was in the streets. I didn't want anybody that was going to dog me out. I didn't want any of
right.
that. And he absolutely was not that. He treated me with respect.
Come on.
He allowed me to take our relationship and the development of our relationship at my own pace. He
Hmm.
was okay with that.
Right.
So as time went on, we
Mhm.
talked. First, we just chatted on the website.
Uh-huh.
Then I gave him my number and he was like, well, we can text if you're more comfortable with that. So we started texting for a while. And all the while, I was looking for signs,
Right,
different signs of who he was and if he checked off my list. And
right,
he did. So keep your list handy, keep it at the forefront of your mind.
right.
If there is something that comes up for you that is not exactly what you're okay with,
Mhm.
then I want you to make a mental note of that. Don't
Right.
X the guy out right away,
Okay.
but give it some time before you write him off. See, look for other things first. If this thing, let's say, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say he has a bad habit of cussing. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe he cusses a lot.
Uh-huh.
And first thing you notice it one time and you're like, well, I already said I don't want this. Give it
Mhm.
a chance, give it more than one time. And if
Mhm.
it's something that continually happens, have a conversation with him. Ask
Okay.
him, hey, why do you feel like you need to curse all the time? Or
Right,
just talk to him. If
right,
if after the conversation things don't get better and you are still not comfortable with his form of communication, then I'm telling you, it is okay for you to tell him, hey, I don't know if you're the right fit for me.
right,
You're a great person, you're a great guy, but you may not be the right fit for me.
right.
So I'm telling you, don't just ride it out, because I know as women, we
Uh-huh.
we can say, okay, well, he's everything else, but he
But
had,
uh-huh.
and we'll hold on to that relationship even though that one thing may not be totally serving us. And
Mm,
it could be something that's a deal breaker for you. Don't
right,
relax on the deal breakers. Go ahead and there's somebody else that's a better fit for you. Be okay with that. Don't hold on just because it's a relationship.
oh, that's good. You talking about deal breakers. So know what your deal breakers are. You say this here is a deal breaker. So
Mhm.
y'all queens, kings, stick to your guns. Whatever your deal breaker is, stick to it. Okay. If it's some things you can work through, you work through it. But if not, let it go. So Queen Tori said, What is the difference between being in love and loving the spouse? She says she understands love as being a commitment and not a feeling. So, what is the difference between being in love and loving the spouse?
Okay. So I'm going to start with loving your spouse. Loving your spouse is something that you tend to do because you've been with together for X amount of time. That
Mhm.
is something, you love your friends. You
Right,
love your other family members. But
right.
being in love with your spouse is different because you are actively feeding the relationship. You're actively doing the things that are going to meet his needs as well as your needs. You are
Mm,
invested, still invested in the marriage, in your relationship with your spouse. You're still invested in your spouse. So, what do we do when we're invested in something? We're going to make sure we take care of that thing. We're going to make sure that it grows. We're going to make sure that it remains healthy.
right,
So, being in love with your spouse is an action. It's something that you
right,
continually do to help the relationship grow. It's something that you continue to do for the betterment of your relationship, the betterment of your marriage. And if you're loving the spouse, he is just, how do I want to say this? It may be a thing where he is more your friends and your roommate than someone you're in love with.
mm.
I hope that made sense. And I hope I answered your
I think
question.
things changes when they become more of a roommate,
Mhm.
than they are someone that you actually love, because, roommates are limited. They're off limits. They're just there, they're
Mhm.
space, but that's not someone that you are spending that intimate quality time with, and you don't, communicate and things like that. That is good. I'm
Mhm.
gonna there's any more questions before I ask the question. So there's a question. How did you know he was the one? So
How
y'all
did
were dating. Yeah.
So, all right, the way I knew that my husband was the one, one day we were texting, and it was in the morning, and I was asking him, "So, what are you doing today?" And he said that he was taking his daughter and her sister, which he considers her his daughter as well. He was taking them to get a pedicure and a manicure. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "What, you just watching them, do it?" He was like, "No, I'm getting my feet done too." I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
okay."
okay.
So, two things happened for me. He was
Uh-huh.
taking care of a
Girl.
child
Yes,
that
he
was not his.
oh, wow. Yes.
And he was treating her just like he was treating his daughter.
Wow.
And the other thing was, I have never ever experienced my dad getting his feet done with me when I was a kid. That was
Yeah.
a big deal to me.
Oh,
That
wow.
that was a big deal to me because I was like, for a man to do that with his child,
Right.
um, that he's different.
Right.
So that little thing, it's simple. It was little. It was not a huge gesture or anything. It was little. That little thing made me say, "Okay,
Okay.
he's it. This
I
is this
love
is
it.
my husband."
I love it. I love it. So how can you know Queen Vicky is asking a question. How can you know if it is safe to date from the internet? Some people have been used by people who have research your profile page, because you know how they do it. They'll research your profile page, find out what you like, what you do, what your, they find out what your interests are, and they feed off that.
Mhm.
So how can you find out if it's safe to date from the internet?
So there, I came across some scammers while I was on the dating site, and there were always some keywords that I looked for, or
Oh,
the way they would phrase some of their dialogue.
Yeah.
And some of the things that I looked for was just like something one how Lord, okay, give me the words on how to say this correctly. Because I don't want to sound okay. You know the dialect that you're comfortable with.
Right.
So look for if the way they are talking to you is not what you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Um, because there will be people, they might try to mimic what they think you sound like or mimic what they think you're okay with, but you'll be able to tell it's not real. It's a
Right.
feeling that you get. I use discernment. That
Okay.
I'll say that. Use your discernment. Um, and when you're reading these profiles, reading these questions or whatever it is that they're saying to you or telling you how beautiful. If they can't have a conversation with you without saying how beautiful you are,
Uh,
no, that's not it.
that's not it.
It's
That's
not it because they're trying to butter you up. They're
mm,
trying to get you to let down your guard so they can hit you with something else.
and that's key.
So
That's good.
yeah, so pay attention to that. If you can have a conversation with this person, like you guys can talk on the phone or you can FaceTime, whatever it is that you're comfortable with.
Mhm.
If you can have a conversation with this person
Ooh, listen.
and they seem like they could be a little all over the place,
Mm,
or they might say something that was not really something that you guys discussed before. Maybe it was somebody else he was talking to at the same time as you. Pay attention to that. And they
right.
insist that it's something that you said, but you know you didn't say that. You know what you have on your hands. Pay
Right.
attention to that. One of the things that I also did, I let time play out because
Yes.
in time you'll know
That's
if
good.
someone is really authentic. You'll know if someone is truly who they're portraying themselves to be. There are
Right.
always little signs, little cracks that come up
Mm,
in their persona, in their facade. There's
right.
always you just have to pay attention. Don't get caught up in the sweet nothings that are being whispered in your ear. You got
Ooh.
to pay attention. You always have to be on guard. And then as time, like I said, time will let you know whether somebody is being true or not. So as time goes on and they seem to be consistent,
Mm,
then you may have somebody that is good for you. That's somebody that's safe for you to go on a date with. But you have to pay attention. You have to listen to the Holy Spirit. You have to listen to your gut feeling. You have whatever you listen to that gives you the instinct that something is not right. Listen to it, investigate it a little more, and go with what your first initial reaction is.
that's good. Coach, we're gonna have to come back on another episode and do dating online so we can learn more about these scams because it's like some of the things that you can do when you're dating online that you have to be mindful of, like if okay, you can't I will tell people to go on if they could go on TV and look at fish. What is that TV thing?
Catfish.
Catfish, right? And so with catfish, they'll tell you things like if they won't you can't see them on like we're doing live right now. If they can't do live with you, um, then that may be a scam, or if they can't allow
Mhm.
you to go into some of their personal lives, or they have excuses to why they do this and why they do that, or if they want money from you, it's
Yeah.
always is why you can't meet up. It's always some little key things. So we're gonna have to come back one day and do dating online and some of the things to look out for. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what Queen Tori said. She said, difference between flaws and red flags. What is the difference between the flaws and red flags? And is it the effect that it has? Is it the effect that it has?
Okay. So a flaw. A flaw would be something like it would be something that is bearable that you can deal with. Um,
Okay.
Something that the person is willing to work on. Like my
Yeah.
flaw was the way I spoke to people. My
Right.
husband, when we were dating, he always told me I was very like I can be very straightforward and blunt. And as
Okay.
my one of my grandmothers told me, I cut no tea for the fever. But when it when it came to my husband, that the way I spoke to him,
Uh-huh.
it came across as being me belittling him.
Mm-hmm.
That was my fault because that was something that he showed me and I was ready to work on. I actively worked on. I still work on it. I actively worked on it. That was my flaw. My red flag could have been let's see. Your red flag may be something that is totally against what you're looking for. So that could
Mm-hmm.
be for okay, one of my red flags when I was dating, I didn't want a man that had more than two children. If they had
Okay.
more than two children, that was a red flag for me because
Okay.
that meant there were going to be baby mamas that was in the mix and they were getting all up in our situation and things
Right.
could get ugly. That's what it was for me. A red flag for you, like we were just dating, talking about online dating, and the person being a scammer and ask you for money. That may be a red flag to
You can
let
read
you know you need to back away. The red flags tell you this is not what we're looking for. This is not okay, and we need to fall back from that. If you fall for a red flag, then there will be damage. There will be damage from the red flag.
right.
I my relationship that I had before my husband, the red flag was the emotional abuse that I experienced. That was a
Mm-hmm.
red flag for me, and there
Right.
was serious damage that was done because of I stayed with the red flag. I brushed
Right.
it to the side. So I had a lot of internal work that I had to do, a lot of healing that I had to do because of ignoring the red flag.
That's
So
good.
flaws are things, like I said, flaws are things that people you'll let them know
No.
that they are, I'll use my example again, talking to you crazy. But they are actively working on it. But the red flag would be something that's a hard no, but because he's cute, I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and stick with this anyway. Those would be the difference between your red flags and your flaws.
Mm.
I hope I
Okay.
answered your question, sorry.
Queen Tori, let us know if she answered your question. If not, come back and reword it, and she can answer it. Okay. So let's go back to the dating tips. Tell us
Okay.
what are some of the things that we can do to date. What are some of the things we can do?
Okay, so are we talking about you're putting yourself out there and be ready for dating? Or are we talking about
Putting yourself out, putting yourself out there when you're
okay,
ready. You're ready. To Queen Tor will come right back to you. Yes, she said yes, you did perfectly. She do have another
okay,
question for you, so we'll come back to you, Queen Tori. So yes, when you're single and you're getting ready to date, what are some of the tips that you can give us when you're single and dating?
okay. So make yourself available.
Okay.
And when I say make yourself available, I'm not saying be ready for somebody's beck and call. I'm
Right.
saying dress like
Ooh.
you're ready to date. Make sure you are approachable. Be aware of your facial expressions. See if you and I'm saying that because I am
Uh,
very good at showing what I'm thinking on my face.
yes.
So that could be a turn off to some people. So be
Uh-huh.
aware of what your face is looking like. So if you want somebody to approach you or if you're ready to start dating, look like it. Have
Okay.
peace on your face. Have a smile
Right.
on your face. Be
Okay.
approachable. Be open. Um also if there are some changes that you may need to do, go ahead and start working on them.
Okay.
You always start with the inner work first before you can get the outer work, your, new wardrobe or whatever it is that you want to do, before we could get the outer work open and ready. So work on the inner, get your peace and your healing, everything that you need to have inside done first. And then when it's time for you to date, then you can, dress accordingly. You don't have to show every part of your body, but you can give the illusion. You can
Okay.
show that that you're an attractive woman. Don't hide anything, but you also don't have to show everything. there's
Right.
there's a happy medium between the two.
My mom used to say, leave something to their imagination.
Yes.
So they can see a little, but give them something like, I wonder what else,
Hmm.
so okay.
You can
Okay.
show the curves. You got curves, show them, but
Okay.
you ain't gotta walk out here with, I don't know, your behind hanging out or anything like that.
Don't show your tail. Okay. So when you're going out and you're dating and you're meeting them, should you ride in the same vehicle with them? Should they pick you up from your house? How does the meetup go?
So the meetup goes, if this is the very first day, let's say it's somebody from the internet. You
Hmm.
haven't been around this person in person yet.
Right.
So meet them at the place that you guys are going to be at. If it's somebody that you met while you were grocery shopping or something like that, you kind of were able to be in their presence for a short amount of time, but you were able to kind of feel what type of person they were.
Right.
So most of the time, if you meet somebody when in person, you're going to exchange numbers. And if you're comfortable enough to exchange numbers with that person and you guys have conversations after the meeting, then if you feel comfortable, I would say you could allow them to come pick you up.
Mhm.
It could be your house or it could be at somebody else's house where you feel safe. But
That's it.
I would say you can, let them pick you up.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what about the location? Is the location important? Like being where there's a lot of other people instead of going to a place where it's just gonna be you and him, and things like that. Or if it's a guy from him and her, is it better to be in a location where you're not gonna? Because stuff is happening these days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They won't. Stuff too much happening. So
Yeah.
for a woman, especially, going to a place where there's a lot of people, where there's other people. So he should be comfortable and okay with being seen with you. Nope,
Mhm.
that's fine. And
Mhm.
not trying to be, private about it unless he's like a celebrity or something like that. But he should be okay with taking you around a group of other people and making sure that you are safe, and that you're loving it. So did you want to add to that what I was just saying?
So yeah, definitely go to a public place. Definitely do something where other people around. And what I would say, um, if you want to do dinner and a movie, do the dinner first. That
Okay.
way you guys can have conversation
Yeah.
and you can judge whether you want to go sit through a 2-hour movie with this
Yeah.
person or do
Yeah.
an activity. If you want to go, I don't know, hiking or something to that effect, do that. That's always a fun icebreaker and open a fun first date because you get to see that person in another element than just having conversation, but see if they are willing to help you in the process of whatever activity you guys are doing.
Right.
You get to see them in a different light.
Okay. So Queen Tori said, did you pray throughout the process of you dating?
I absolutely did. I did. Because if it wasn't for me praying,
Uh-huh.
then my marriage, I wouldn't be married. I'll say that.
Right.
If I didn't seek the Lord's face all the time, I would not be married.
Right.
I Not to my husband.
Right.
And it's not that he was a bad person, but because I had a whole lot of me that I had to deal with. And
Right.
because of me, there were things that would pop up that really wasn't something that was a huge deal,
Mm,
but it was a big deal to me.
right.
So if I didn't pray, I wouldn't be able to hear the Lord telling me, it really isn't that deep. You need to calm down a little bit.
Oh,
Or, he wouldn't be I wouldn't be open to him guiding me through that whole process.
right.
So, yes, I prayed throughout dating.
Oh wow, she said yes. Queen Leslie said, use your instinct as well. If you pay attention to the spirit, the stop sign will come up. Put the brakes on and listen to Holy Spirit and obey to what you feel and hearing. So thank you for that
That's
advice,
my
Queen.
mama.
Yes, Mama. Hey, Mama, you talk to us, Queen. She said, pay attention. She said, stop sign will come up, put the brakes on, and listen to the Holy Spirit and obey
Mhm.
what you feel in hearing. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Queen, for
Yeah.
that. Okay, so next question. When do you bring them to the family?
Okay.
Okay.
Um, so bring them to meet the family. Let's see. My husband, he met my mother, was it almost a year? It wasn't even a year. I would say about 6 months. Let it be enough, be over 90 days. If the
Okay.
relationship can last over 90 days, then you could bring them to meet your family. Now it's different when you have children though. I'll say it's different. I would like to say this is my criteria. It may be different from everybody else, but I would say give it a year before
Yes.
you introduce your significant other to your children. But give it
Okay.
6 months. Let it be 6 months before you introduce them to your family, because the last thing you want is your family like, okay, I'm tired of seeing this guy and that guy. Like, get somebody, stick with them. So,
I, I have a question for you.
okay.
Background. Honey, let me tell you something. How important is it to do a background check? And what I mean
Oh,
by background check, like check their Facebook page, check their social media pages, see how long they've been on social media, not just random pictures they're posting, things
mhm.
like that. And like when we said, going how when you and I, just like the pictures that they are posting, see if that fits them. When you go say, can we Zoom? Can we, do this?
Yeah.
Talk to them and things like that. Um, so the background check, and also, we all have access to. I'm not saying, they're exempt that they've been in prison, but you do want to do that check because you want to make sure you're not getting a particular person in your home around you or your children or other people's children. So a background check in that retrospect, the best you can, ask questions, ask around, where's he from? Find out if he got friends on Facebook or their family members or whatever, and just, but you'll find out. But anyway, background checks, how important is that to do a
It is
background?
it's very important. Think about a job. Before they hire you, they're running a background check on you.
Right.
You can use the same principle for your dating life. Before you hire somebody, before you have him as your boyfriend, run the check. You can find out a lot of information on social media. You can find out a lot of information when you run an actual background check. Um, I would like to say the dating phase is also your time to be a detective.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
we women, we get the private investigators and all of that because we're always looking around trying to find something. Do that in the beginning before you totally commit to this person, so that you
Right,
can see if you're really wasting your time
right.
or if you are feeding good ground.
Mm, that's good. That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good. Queen, this has been a beautiful time. I was trying to see if there's going to be any more questions to come up. I have thoroughly enjoyed you on today. How can we reach you?
Okay, so you could find me on all social media at it's Ashley JW. If you would like to send me an email, go ahead and send me an email at ashley@itsashleyj.com. And you can also visit my website, it's ashleyj.com.
Okay. And we were talking about your ebooks earlier. So tell us about your ebooks.
So the very first one that I wrote is called Sexy Date Nights. It is an ebook for couples, and it's a book that has every type of date in it that you can imagine. Or at least I would like to think so. So it's a book that's full of suggestions for dates, because I know that when you're in relationships for a long time, you might feel like you run out of ideas on how to knock somebody's socks off, or something. So that book is filled with um lots of dates, okay, dating ideas. Also, I have another ebook for a single was a woman on the picture in the on the cover, but single people. It's called it is called Your Survival Guide for the Holiday.
Okay.
And I wrote this because I can recall when I was dating how awkward I felt sometimes, because I desired to be in a relationship so much that when the holidays came around, I almost felt ashamed that I wasn't in a relationship. So
Oh,
this is your guide to kind of beat that feeling, and actually give to others, what rather than focusing on not being in a relationship.
oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful because I'm married, but never thought about someone who's single and they're going around, especially like for Valentine's Day or parties,
Mhm.
gatherings, and things where they do have couples, and you're the single one. But I would say, Queen or King, you the one that everybody else looking at. Yeah, the married
Yeah.
people, you're the single one. You're the one that's singled out. You're the one that's by yourself, and you can just get out and sit out with your friends and enjoy yourself, smile, laugh. Hey,
Mhm.
those type of atmospheres, environments, there may be somebody else single as well and looking for a single somebody. So
Mhm.
it's a good place to go and meet someone. Um, yes, she said, continue to let God use you, woman of God. So I think that is what we can discuss a little bit later when we go back into the dating online, and then talking more about the tips for married couples. Because
Yes.
I would like for us to go back and did. I don't want to hold you because there's so much stuff, so much digging when it come down to the dating and marriage. So, but before we go, can you give us some details? Can you give us just a little bit of nuggets of what we can do so we can take home, and then we'll close out for real, for real. Give us a little nuggets about the tips you can do for being married and how you can date while you're married.
So think about use the creativity that you had when you first got together,
Mm,
when you were dating, when you guys first met. That was the most creative time for your relationship. So go back to that, get back into that mindset, and maybe recreate the first date. There are different things that you can do to get back to being creative and to start dating again. Set a time. I know as married people or even as single people, we get busy. So set a time, put some time away for you and your spouse to connect every day. And then pick a day when you guys are going to go out and have a date and have your date night. So it could be just the two of you. And just, look at each other with the googly eyes and everything.
I think I can do that. This has been beautiful. Thank you so much, woman of God, for coming on with us, Queen
Thank
Coach
you.
Ashley J. Y'all don't forget to get her book. Don't forget to go on her social media pages. You say, what are your social media pages again? Ashley JW. What did you say it was
Yep,
again?
it's you can find me at It's Ashley JW.
Okay, so y'all go on Facebook, find her, message her. If y'all want some more tips. Matter of fact, if y'all want us to come back, let us know what y'all want us to come back and talk about and discuss. And y'all continue with your comments because y'all know, like I said, we love your comments. That's what help keep things
Yes.
flowing on Newbie and Queen Talk Show because we're gonna talk about it. Okay, so thank y'all so much for your time. Don't forget to share so that people can come back and check out the replay. They can follow this beautiful woman of God, order her ebook as well, message her, reach out to her, see if you want to get her on your platform as well. Okay, so Queen Coach Ashley J, thank you for your time. We thoroughly appreciate you. These women really loved you, so you'll go back and look at their comments too. And
Okay.
thank you all who looked in on YouTube as well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow me on YouTube because I am there. Okay, so thank you all for your time. God bless you. Blessings to you, Coach. Take care of yourself.
Thank
Peace.
you.
Blessings to you all.